Hey, babe. What up, Lexi? We had a flow interrupter real quickly. That's all right. We released it. We released the flow interrupter. What up, Teresa? Good afternoon to you. What up, Angelica? Being you. I love that. Yeah, we're back. We're back in this beat. We had a flow interrupter. Okay, all I got to ask is who manifested that? Which one of you guys? I'm just kidding. See that? Like at secondary causes. Joe Dispenza's breath is going so well. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Teresa. Yeah, that's why I recommended to people. It was the only thing that would work for me before. Top of the afternoon, my guy. I've been watching all your live videos all day. They keep me in flow. This morning I was feeling unsatisfied. I'm not sure why, but I rewatched your videos and been in flow. That's dude. I used to do that all the time. Like people always ask me, well, if I'm practicing flow, should I still show up to the school community? Yes. I still listen to flow enhancer videos like Eckhart Tolle, Neville Goddard, Joseph Rodriguez to this day because it's like it's reminding me who I am. Neville Goddard talked about after 30 years of teaching the law, he still did a mental daily practice or diet, right? Like we keep doing this thing. We keep doing this thing. Yes, my first live in a froze. KB, we found who manifested the thing freezing. KB. I'm just kidding. I'm not a victim. I know I created it. Hi, Joseph. Spoke to SP the last time you were live. Just a check-in conversation. Naturally died, but I'm not anxious about that. Excellent for what's next. Excited for what's next. Awesome, Parody. I'm excited to hear that. Yeah, as I was sharing, for those of you, like, it was so important. I love that I was flowing on that subject because it's just such deep truth. I felt it. I felt the deep. And that's what happens is that when we're looking outside, we give things meaning and it's sticky. It sticks. And you'll notice once you give something a meaning, you start imagining from that meaning you gave it. And that's where the problems come from. And so we want to stop ourselves before we give it a meaning, before it sticks in our mind, before we have this idea about this person or situation. And we want to go within and we want to give it the meaning that serves us, that we love. So in that way we imagine from that. um but on a serious note, KB London, thank you for joining. I'm glad you're here for the first live. Nice to have you here. Love how you explain things. I'm a longtime follower. So much love and respect for you. Thank you so much, KB. I appreciate that. You are exceptional. Thank you, Alexi. I appreciate it. All right. Is it Alexi or is it Alex? I can't tell by your picture if you're a guy or girl. Like the picture, so it's like literally like a little ant on a screen. So I can't tell what gender people are unless their name's like obvious. If it's like Brittany, then I can, well, maybe nowadays it's not safe to assume, but hi, Joseph. Non-romantic SP question. How do you go about manifesting the removal of an abusive person when you cannot remove yourself and have to interact or manage situations that they cause? Well, Sam, do you have a place that you would like to go to? Or do you have a place that you would prefer? If so, my answer would be slightly different. But a thing that you could do is like, well, what would you think to yourself? What is an image that you would experience after you were relieved of the situation that was troubling you so much? And then picture that, right? Like you'll find, and I like to share this because it's, I find that people will oftentimes ask, well, what do I imagine here? What do I affirm here? Or what's a desire here? And the question, you'll always find the answer yourself um, if you ask yourself, what would be the savior to my challenge here? What would be what would be what's the solution to this challenge? And whatever that is, that's your desire. Like that's the end. That's where you go to, as you acknowledge that. So if you're in prison, then you're free would be your desire. If you're hungry, then your desire would be to be full, etc. Can you answer my question still, please? Yeah, of course, Michelle. I don't see that you asked a question though. And if you were talking about on the last stream, I was in flow, so I wasn't paying attention to the messages. For example, having to live in the same house. And Michelle, you probably need to repost it now. Yeah, please do, Michelle. I didn't see what it is. If you wouldn't mind posting, it'd be awesome. Alex, I am male. Thank you for clarifying. Hello, Alex. All day I stay in flow. Dude, I love that, Brad. That's awesome. Hi, everyone. SP is finally back. Yo, congrats, Lucas. Congrats, my brother. Yeah, Lucas, congrats. Congrats, Lucas. Hello, hola, Lucas. Thank you. You're welcome. Sunflower, my wife's favorite flower. No, guys, I am everyone's SP, but thank you. I appreciate it. And Sanam, one thing that just popped in my mind, adding to that answer, is when you're experiencing the three, as I was talking about earlier, be very careful of the meaning that you're giving the situation. So, like, don't allow yourself to imagine based upon what you're saying. Stay in that meaning that you gave it when you closed your eyes. Stay there. I know it may appear as challenging, especially in current circumstances, but it is possible, and it is the way to freedom. And if it's a serious issue, my first recommendation is be safe and go somewhere. So, like, let me clarify that. Hi, Joseph. I was doing affirmations for a desired job, applied, did the last interview, and yesterday got rejected. What should I do? I can't understand what happened. Thank you in advance. PETA, hello to you. And just keep assuming the job, right? I mean, what does it matter if the 3D show says something to you? Like, it can't mean that you don't have the job unless you are judging based upon appearances. So you're still in the job, right? Just because something appears outside doesn't mean that it changes. Like, if that was the case, none of us would be manifesting anything, because everything you're manifesting, I trust you're aware of the fact that it's currently in your 3D reality. It's shown to the opposition. So that's part of it. I mean, it really doesn't matter what happens outside of you. It's the same fundamental thing, is that you stay true to it within you. You're living in it within you. You acknowledge that you have it within you. And 3D can do whatever it wants to do, right? Because you're not giving it meaning. So how can it mean that you're not in your loving relationship unless you're giving it meaning? Hey, y'all. What up, Cindy? ¿Cómo estás, Sheena? I continue having fantasies of rage and hatred towards my specialty. She hurt me so much. Manifest love, but want her back, not to feel good, but for love for her. I feel so hateful. Milik, this is normal. I went through that too, but just be aware that, I mean, you can detach yourself from that, right? You can become the awareness and just observe that you're not angry or rageful. You can't be your consciousness. Your birthright is abundance, fulfillment, love, harmony. So what's angry is the little I. And so it's just observe it and let it experience its emotions. Let the body experience the emotions. It's not problematic. You still remain as you are. It still is the way you desire it to be. Thoughts come up, that's fine. Allow it to be. You still remain as you are, right? So there's no need to create a story out of it. When it pops up, just observe it. Don't identify with it, because then it'll start telling you more stories and creating all this other stuff. Just simply observe it and let it go. If it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What difference does it make? It doesn't change who you are. In my humble opinion, you're better than Rodriguez, but I told this to you in your previous videos. You remember. Thank you so much. That's a compliment. I appreciate that, because I love I love Joseph Rodriguez. Like, he's the man in my book. But it's just part of, it's part of him being in flow, right? It's just a natural byproduct, is that I'm going to be attracted to his charisma. I'm going to be attracted to who he's being because he's in flow. It's just a natural byproduct. But thank you. I appreciate that compliment. Joseph, last time I commented, I didn't know how to pay my bills. All worked out well. I am cares for me, and I feel so deep. Carolina, you're going to experience that more and more and more and more and more. I promise you. Like, you see what I'm meaning there too? You remove, like, when you have bills to pay and you keep telling yourself I have bills to pay and I'm affirming, what are you doing besides like reinforcing the meaning that you originally gave it? So like just remove that there's like issues. Remove it and then just go within and I'm abundant. I have plenty of money to pay my bills. That's it. Simple acknowledgement, go on with your day. The old story, the old meaning comes up, move out of your consciousness. Go back to I have an abundance of money. That's all you need to do. And then an abundance of money will show up to you. How it'll happen, I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. But I also know I don't need to know. I know that if you continue to do that, you stay steady in that, recognize that your very being is abundance, then you'll experience abundance in many ways, ways that the mind would never think of. Looking backwards, it may go, "Oh, that makes sense," but at the time, it's like spontaneous and miraculous and magical. And that's the cool thing about it, about being in flow. Since you're not thinking of your future, since you're not wanting or lacking, you experience wonderful symbols of who you're being while in flow, and they're lovely experiences that happen spontaneously. You're surprised by them often. They're nice little surprises that come up, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool. That's really cool." I had a cool one where some dude reached out to me about building a website and helping me set up like group coaching and handling my website. Because like honestly, I get a lot of coaching clients, but a lot of them don't end up choosing me because of my website's like kind of shit. So they're going to help with that. And then another lady is going to do like she has like a bunch of people that um she's in a tarot reading, and she was like, a lot of people want you to do manifesting for them, and talked about group coaching, which is funny enough something I just thought about like the other day. I'm like, I'm doing a lot of group coach, doing a lot of individual coaching, and I'm like, if I did group coaching, I could help many people at the same time. I could charge less per individual, and I could add more value, and I wouldn't have to be on 15 phone calls in a day. So it'd be mutually beneficial for everybody. And then next day she's like, hey, you down for group coach? I mean, you see what I'm saying? It's just so like it's so wonderful how it works once you're in flow. My SP has no context. It's over a year and married to the third party. How can I possibly manifest a life with me and her from this? So Sapity, that is one of the things that goes against the golden rule of mine. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means that I don't help in that aspect because I don't. It's not something that I would do. But you're going to practice pretty much the same exact thing that anybody else would practice with any other circumstances, right? Like it's the circumstances don't matter. What is my mind return to these dark places? It it's just part of being a human being, right? Like when you're unconscious, Armelia. When you're unconscious, when you're not being in flow, that's kind of where the mind goes to. You'll find that when you're in flow, you're not in suffering. Well, why aren't you in suffering? Because you're not having very many suffering thoughts. You're in the moment, you're present, you're being as you desire to be. So then what comes to you is lovely thoughts, lovely emotions, things that you enjoy. So it's always on consciousness is why you're going to be experiencing suffering. And it's actually a blessing. It's a blessing to become aware of the suffering, to become aware while in suffering, because through that you transmute the suffering into light. You become more conscious, you become more awareness. And then as you do this, you'll notice that your appearances will naturally just start rearranging themselves. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Peta. Isn't it dangerous to manifest that you didn't get obsessed? Obsession is bad or not? There's not a right or wrong to this, Andrea. That's like the thing is like as human beings, we have this is right, that's wrong. There really isn't such thing as right or wrong. There's things that like me not help like manifesting someone that's married, that's a preference. Is it right or wrong? No, it's just my preference. Um, if you do it, does that mean that you're like a bad person? No. Neville said that you shouldn't manifest a specific person, right? Do on others you want to do on yourself. It's his golden rule. Does that mean that that's how the law works? No, it's not. But that was his preference. That was his golden rule. So he shared that. So it's what aligns with you. Is it okay for you? Is it not okay for you? And then do that. That's my biggest suggestion to you. My boyfriend and I are together for 2 years. I broke up for a year. I manifested him back, but only last a month. And now it's been 2 years, no movement. I want us back bad. I'm really afraid what he's up to. Yeah, Michelle, my suggestion for you is I would really recommend. I'm going to put our school link in here. I suggest it to people that I notice have either been doing this for a long time without results, or for people that are caught up on the 3D or saying some things like secondary causes and stuff. I really suggest School Community to them. And so I would suggest that we have 3 calls a week. We're going to start doing 4 calls a week. And I trust it'll be extremely helpful for you. It has been for a lot of members. But fundamentally, Michelle, what I will say is what you want to do is you want to deny your senses. You want to become the awareness, become the presence, the awareness, the I amness now, where you don't have a story. You've been doing this for 2 years. You don't have the past relationship, the past story. And then you acknowledge that you're in your loving relationship now. And you say there. Whereas mystical, that's what I'm wondering. Mystical is always here. Thank you so much. These months, these fantasies snowballed. You're welcome. Mug Blend. E2. Mug Ben. E2. What is that, like Chinese or something? One of my best friends has started reading Eckhart Tolle Power now. Is this a sign? Lucas, it is, bro. It is. Birds before landing. Now I know what to do. Wonderful. Amy, también, gracias, Jessina. Alessa, what up? Hello again. You left us, Alessa? Oh, for sure it's a sign. Just don't forget my tarot reading. Hey, Joseph, I've really been enjoying your content since I found you. I had an incredible alignment and vision about SP and life last night. Have been feeling in a flow and able to summon the feeling. That's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that, Austin. I'm glad it's clicking for you, not conceptually, but experientially. Because now you know how to create. Now you know what to do. It's no longer an idea or something for you to work towards. You know how to be there. Lucas, DM me your question. I'll see what I can do. Sabbath. Augur, do you have a question about Sabbath? So glad I finally caught you live. Thanks so much for who you are and what you do. Hey, thanks, MG. You're welcome. And thank you for acknowledging that. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll manifest your number now. Even though I enjoy this content, it's guided me, I feel the next step is stepping away from it, to trust that it is fulfilled and continue to embody my ideal self, to trust myself. Yeah, so that's what you want to do, brother. As I was saying earlier, I mean, I find that listening to Joseph Rodriguez or Eckhart Tolle or Neville Goddard just helps me remember who I am. And that's really the point of me being a coach, is that as you continue to grow, you understand fundamentally what to do, but new questions come up and new challenges come up. And that's like really the point of listening to content, to remind you who you are, to help you release stuff. But if you find that's ideal, then do your thing, brother. Do you believe in solipsism? Basically, the belief that you are the only one that exists, and everything else is in your mind. Yes, I do. And just so like someone out of my reality right now, can I just assume they moved to another country? Lovely. Yeah, it's funny. We had another person that asked, that I observed, that had a similar question, and what I suggested to that individual is, see yourself, put yourself in the now of when that situation is dealt with. Like, where are you at? What are you thinking to yourself? Who are you talking to? And then visualize that. Can you talk about the feeling of having shifted, wish fulfilled, knowing when I do exercise or think about SP, I'm not always sure when to stop or what to feel best for me. Emilio, so yes, so when you're not in the state that you want to be in, you'll notice that this will accompany a bunch of emotions in your body, usually a wanting, a lacking, a needing, a missing, a sadness, a depression, an anger, followed by thoughts of, what are they doing? I wonder where they're at, checking your phone, looking for texts every 2 minutes, checking their social media, things like this. This is clearly you're not in the state. And then when you're in the state, you feel satisfied. You feel like how you feel in flow. You automatically see your SP as being ideal. You automatically see yourself as being ideal. So pay attention. The giveaway here is pay attention what the natural thoughts are and the natural emotions that flow to you. This is a representation of the state that you're occupying. So if you change the state, which simply you can do by becoming the awareness, by being present, saying I am to myself several times, however you want to do it, you'll notice very quickly when you become present, within a couple of minutes, that state leaves you. You just broke free from the state. So then new emotions come to you, new thoughts come to you, etc. Do you meditate every day? If so, for how long? Actually, I used to meditate for about 5 hours a day on average for several years. I do not meditate anymore because I pretty much stay in this state of meditation, but I did for a very long time. I wouldn't do 5 hours every day, actually, looking back. I would do at least 2 hours, but sometimes it'd be five, sometimes it would be more, sometimes it would be in between. It really just kind of depended. What up, Angel? Can you talk more about what are birds before landing versus just being in RES? I have dreams of them in sinks all the time. Yeah, no, I was just fucking around. SL. I don't believe in birds before landing. They're not really a thing. Um, you just, I mean, as Neville says, it precedes the manifestation. It never comes before. So I was just messing around with that. But at the same time, I also would get everything in the meaning that it's in harmony with your vision. So your dreams, you're having ideal dreams. This means your subconscious is impressed. It's done. You're in a loving relationship. If you're not having ideal dreams, look at it like your subconscious is purging your old impressions. It's done. Everything is always working on my favor. Amen, bro. I was watching one of your videos the other day and something you said made total sense to me. Wait, damn. So you're saying only one thing I said the whole video made sense? I'm just fucking with you. I'm glad to hear that, bro. Master manifest no problem for you. Before you ask, I have answered. P.S. Love how Joseph reading out this random chat between us. Joseph, I'll do tarot. I'll do tarot for you too. Wait, do you actually do tarot, JT? It made me realize finally who the observer is. Yeah, that's dope. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, now you're free. That's the hard part. Damn, is recognizing who you are, because I'll observe. It's like I'll talk about this stuff and I'll see the viewer count go down because so many people are like, "Fuck, is he talking about? I have no idea." And rather than research, it's like a human thing that if we don't understand something, we just leave, right? We're just like, fuck it. And I'm like, oh, I know I'll see him coming back because it's like fundamentally, it's something that has to be understood. Like if I don't understand who I actually am, then I must take everything that the little I is saying to me all day long as truth. I can't be free from it. So, so it's once you recognize who the awareness is, you're free. We'll get cat tarot cards just for you. Oh fuck no. Pretty cool how once we find this information, we have it for the rest of our lives. Is this sort of the idea, the pearl of great price? Yep. Exactly, Brendan. Finally caught you on light. What's up, Just Me? I like that name too. You guys have a lot of badass names. I'm not going to lie. When it comes to manifesting SP, what are your thoughts about using multiple affirmations instead of one? I feel as if I can focus clearly when using one affirmation without the unnecessary clutter. Angel, I think once you recognize the truth in an affirmation is not to make something so, which is why people are doing 5,000 affirmations in a day. I think they're underneath the consumption that they must do something to make it so. And that's why a lot of people don't get success. If you recognize that an affirmation is for you to go within and to recognize that you're already it, or accept that you're already it, or surrender that you're already it, that's the point of an affirmation. As Neville says, you are who it is that you desire to be. So what the fuck could you do then? What could you do? You just give up the reason why you're not it. That's it. So this is why I'm saying get rid of the meaning based upon appearances. Get rid of the outside imagining. Get rid of the imagining based upon your past history. And go within and give it the meaning. Joseph, how do I remain in flow when I start to like someone is when I start overthinking. When I start to like someone is when I start overthinking. That's funny. But I relate. I noticed that too, that in different stages in relationships, I would have different thoughts that came to me. So good on you for being very aware. I'll tell you, most people that I observe have no idea of that type of specificity of how they work. So props to you for being that conscious. I noticed too that I was okay with like thinking I was a shit with hooking up with a chick until I got to a point where I liked her, and then all of a sudden my fears would kick in. So I too had a certain similar situations like that. And the solution is um, the same solution is just remaining in flow. So like when you're having the thoughts come up, this doesn't mean like here's what causes a situation we don't want. The thoughts come up and then we start thinking in relation to it. We start identifying with it, which then plays out as theater. Well, what if I become the awareness during this and I observe that the thoughts are saying that, but I remain as I am? Well, the result is that person's going to end up liking me. That person's going to end up pursuing me. If that's my desire, by the way, if that's something that I would like, that's how it'll end up happening. So you see, the only issue that we have is thinking that we have an issue. So when you have the situation come up where you're like, oh, I like this person, this is going to happen. The only way that you would have a problem in that situation is if you identify with that thinking. If you go, oh yeah, that's true. I didn't need to worry about this. How do I fix this? How do I get out of this? And that's the very imagining that creates the experience that you don't want. So instead, you remain in flow and then you observe, it's saying the personality is saying this based upon set beliefs and set history and set whatever. It's saying this to me. I remain as I am. My very existence is fulfillment. So you see, the only way that you can't be in fulfillment is if in your mind you say that you're not in fulfillment. Funny, right? You only have something to fix when in mind you tell your conscious is something to fix. If you remove it from your consciousness, just remain as you are in flow, which is what flow does automatically, hence why I'm such a big advocate of it, then you'll notice as though that little I will dissolve, you release it onto your belief, and then you'll experience that situation harmoniously in the way that you love. I have bouts where I just get frustrated with even thinking about my SP, and then I get very loving feeling about her immediate after. Is this a sign that she may be feeling lovingly about me? So Lisa, fuck, I wish you put it in your name like specifically, so now like I'm like overthinking it in mind. Elisa, I'm gonna call you E. So your person is feeling how you think they're feeling. Your person is imagining what you think they're imagining. So as long as you know this, then yes, that's a wonderful meaning to give it. I just don't want you having victim thinking or secondary thinking. So yes, that's a wonderful thing to think, but I want to make sure that you know that the reason why your SP will be experiencing that is because you, the power, are suggesting that, giving that the meaning. Very important. Because if you think that your SP is doing something to you, now we have an issue. Now there's a power greater than you in your reality, which as you could see could be problematic because how do you create what you love when something's in opposition of you? Very, very hard to do. So you being the power can determine that you feeling like you're missing SP is them in fact feeling you, but know that you're the one who is creating the SP missing you. New success story coming at Justina. Advice on half manifestation self concept feels better than 3P, and I heard they are having trouble. However, I still have not seen any movement with her. Do I need to keep feeling chosen by her? Stan, so yeah, you want to go to the end, bro. Like it literally wants to be that you're acknowledging that you're in a loving relationship now, right? It's a state of being. A state of being is something that you recognize within you. You put yourself into. You put your awareness into. So you just go into it, right? Like you just go into your loving relationship. And this is why I think it's always so interesting with self-concept. I can think I'm the absolute shit. But if I have a history in mind of my SP, us having a bunch of fights and me doing some things that hurt her, she doing some things to help me, what is my whether or not I think I'm the shit have to do with uh, that situation? I'm going to say, oh, I'm really hot. Okay, great. Then I'm going to have a bunch of random girls coming up to me and telling me I'm hot. That's awesome. That's not what I want. So, like, why? My thing is just go to the end. I never once did a self concept thing. I never once did any of this. I just went to the end. Thank you that I have the perfect relationship. Thank you that I have that my wife is ideal. To this day, I still experience manifestations of that affirmation that I did. Simple, well, recognition. Well, we'll call it an affirmation. It technically is. But I was recognizing, thank you that I have the perfect wife. To this day, I still see fruits of that. She shows up in loving ways that I didn't even think of that I would love her to show up that way. Should I say step away from it from the extent I have been consuming it? It is reassuring to listen to him, but I question my level of surrender. Um, to be honest, Austin, I don't remember your original question. It was like several messages apart, so I don't recall what it was that you were referring to. Joseph, this flow stuff is changing things rapidly. Manifested 2K in 1 week. My SP agreed to go on work road trip with me. Things are happening out of the blue as I stay off old. Jonathan, I know that this works for everybody, but I appreciate when people come on here and suggest that. So in that way, it gives hope to others. I'm going to pin your message because when it comes from me, Joseph's the content creator and etc. Um, but when it comes from somebody else that's practiced it, it just has more meaning. It lets them know they can do it too. Do you also think that a strong desire is a guarantee from God that my wish can be fulfilled and that God wants to make this experience through me? Alex, I believe that that means that's the way that you are. That like that desire is pointing towards you are it internally. And so all that's required of you is just to accept it, to remember it, to recognize it. That's it. Hey, Joseph, been doing your short I am meditation to get back into the state, but recently I found that the ego can sometimes block me into getting into flow. Did you ever have that happen? A fuck ton, Marcus. Yes. Just part of the it's just part of the it's part of the road, dude. You become conscious and then you'll notice you become unconscious and become more conscious, just part of the how it goes. Yep, I get so hyper aware of their reactions, so I have the feelings for them. Yeah, I relate to that. Yeah, thankfully for my wife, it was nice because, like, when I met my wife, I had a roster full of chicks, so I was like, I wasn't attached to a particular person, which was really nice. But now knowing what I know, I mean, I would be able to just be seeing her and I could still flow. But at that time, I needed these outside things in order for me to be in flow about a relationship. Ultimately, that's all it was, is like I was in flow because I had a lot of relationships. I wasn't worried or hyper focused on a problem or losing something because you'll find that's what happens when there's one relationship or hyper focused on this. I have to have this person. Then what ends up happening, I end up imagining something unideal and then the person goes out of my life. Whereas when I had several girlfriends, it was like, well, I'm just in flow, living life, enjoying myself. I wasn't really worried. And then what I love flowed to me. And that's the funniest thing about it. I didn't even want to be in a relationship at that time. I was focused on a lot of other things. And also, be completely honest, I was afraid of breakups were extremely painful for me, like really painful. I'm talking about like I suffered, like I wanted to, you know what I mean? And once I got out of a breakup, and so I was like, well, if I just be in a lot of relationships, I won't have to feel this pain. But then deep down in me, I did desire to be in a relationship. Like I wanted that notebook type relationship. I wanted that like that deep love. And and then my wife flooded my life. And then I realized that she was exactly what I wrote down on my list like 9 months earlier. I've been manifesting my SP for a year. I feel peaceful and content. I love them, but I'm okay without them. I've had a lot of joy in my life lately. Could this mean I'm in the Sabbath state? Yes. Yes, Nikki. Those are really, really good signs. Watch my Sabbath video that I made. Actually, I made two of them, but watch them because that's one of the things I describe in there. You also just have a deep knowing that you're in a loving relationship and like it's done. Thank you. I just need to remind myself who I am and let the thoughts go. Appreciate your advice. You're welcome, Melissa. Off topic, but you don't have to answer. What do you think happens to consciousness after death? You remain consciousness. Consciousness is I trust that in meditation you've experienced this. It is not a thing. Um yeah, the easiest way to answer that is that you just remain consciousness. You lose the body, you lose the mind, right? Like, off topic, if I just observe my thoughts and nothing more, am I then aware of the problem? No, you're aware of nothing. And then you'll find after those thoughts pass, you'll become aware of being the way that you love to be. It'll happen automatically. Angel, how do you know you die and don't just wake up in another lifetime? Possibility. Good evening, Joseph. What up, Kira? Thank you so much for that. You're welcome. Joseph had some 3D shift recently. It induced pretty intense fear dealing with it. Okay, and God is very much there guiding, but experience still been unpleasant. Pointers welcome, wise one. Yeah, it's not funny. You see JT looking back why it was that like you wanted that girlfriend or you wanted that job or whatever, and you see like as you're releasing these limitations on yourself, let's say, you see how comfortable subconsciously you were to that environment that you were in before. It wasn't what you wanted, but there was just some you just like the comfort. And then when you're moving somewhere else, it's like, "Oh shit, what the fuck is this?" It's so funny how that works, right? Like you're like, "I don't like where I'm at consciously, but subconsciously it's like I really like just being here. It's comfortable. I know it." And then that's the thing that like a lot of people are fighting is like consciously like, "Oh, I'm here," and subconsciously like, "I love it here." So my suggestion, JT, is that happened to me with Joseph Rodriguez, right? Like that's where I just came up with that realization. Like, holy shit, no wonder big collaborations like this never happened before. Look at all the uncomfortability that's coming up subconsciously from this experience. That's a bigger opportunity. I mean, this guy's a multimillionaire. He's one of the biggest YouTubers on the niche that I'm in. He's speaking at Think and Grow Rich collaborations and shit. Like he's big time. And I'm like, no wonder, because subconsciously um it wasn't comfortable for me to do those things, right? Like it was out of its comfort zone, out of its bubble. And so all you can do in that instance is just keep remember who you are. Remember who you are. Be the awareness. Be the one that's be the space between the energy emotion happening in the body and the overthinking in the mind, panicking and wanting a particular outcome or fearing an outcome. Be that which is the space between the two. Allow it to be there, but remain as you are. I think I'm this shit, but I still overthink when I like someone. Yeah. Don't need tarot cards. Manifest SP for 1.5 years. So many ups and downs. She finally confessed love to me in April, but is now hot and cold, living 2 hours away, but even more distant. Advice for when timing never seems to work. So MG, I trust that this is something that you're telling to me. This is a meaning that you've given your relationship and something that you want to release. And so your brain's looking for a solution to it, a way to figure it out. And actually, in fact, the solution to it is to remove it from your consciousness as a part of the equation. That is the solution to it. Because when you remove that as being part of the equation for your relationship, you'll no longer experience it. It's just because in mind, that's the meaning, one of the meanings that you give this relationship. Seen so many vids and content creators, and I get confused about what is manifesting, how to manifest. I did it in the past a lot, but when manifesting, I do stuff with some sort of uncertainty. Yeah, Emilio, manifesting literally is this. It is recognizing that you are a particular way. You ever notice how your desires are so specific to you? Like, is that a coincidence? The desires are so intimate to you and you love them so much. Do they seem accidental? How could they know exactly out of the billion different things that you could do or be with or be at in the world? How could you want these things that are so specific to you? And every time you're like, oh, this is fucking wonderful because it's you. Like it exists within you. And so all that desire is pointing towards is for you to recognize that that is who you actually are. That's it. So if you want to do an affirmation to do that, then do that. If you want to imagine to do that, then do that. If you want to catch the feeling, then do that. But that's fundamentally all you're doing. Remember, Neville talks about this. Force is one of the main causes to failure in manifestation. And this is why I'm really against affirming all day long. Is because why would I affirm 5,000 times unless I'm trying to make something happen? Like, give me another reason besides that. Why else would I do that? And I'll wait for responses and such. I can't think of a logical reason as to why I would affirm 5,000 times in a day. Because if I'm the only power of my reality, which I am, and to desire to have, which it is, and my imaginary creation, my reality, which it does, then why would I need to do anything 5,000 times? I simply just recognize that I have it in that moment. Like just a simple acknowledgement that I have it, right? Like Neville just talked about, he'll even just assume that he has it the moment desire comes to him. So, like, why would I need to affirm 5,000 times then? If I can just assume that I have it, I don't even do anything anymore because all I recognize in affirmation or visualization is reminding me of who I am, which is I know who I am when I'm being in flow. So then in affirmation, there's not even a point behind an affirmation or visualization. I just share this because it's helpful for people to give themselves permission to remember who they are. Of course, man, you remind me of sometimes I practiced years ago, manifested all kinds of things. It's like I searched again for the key to manifest, but remember flow state was key. Yep. That's awesome, bro. I'm really glad that you know it experientially, Jonathan, because as an idea, it's like, there's a lot of different ideas, but once you know, you know. Do you believe that you can wake up in your desired physical change? Sure. Yeah. Once you change your mind, yeah, you'll recognize that you've always been in it. Um, just my specific person exists in a form of desire. I know characteristically and psychologically how he is, but the 3D has not caught up with my inner world. How should I work with this? By continuing to just be in your loving relationship. You're already there now. And Kira, what could suggest that you're not? Only in mind, which when you're thinking in your mind, what are you doing? You're imagining. And we know your imagination creates your reality. So live from within. Hi, Joseph. Being in the state, what causes thought transmission SP? My personal viewpoint on it is that SP is simply a figmentation of your imagination. They exist within your consciousness. Your senses appear as though they're real. You touch something and you feel and whatever, but don't you do the same thing while you're dreaming also? And where is that happening at within your consciousness? So is anything even happening outside of you? Debatable. I would say no. So is it doing thought transmission? Sure, if you want to suggest that. My suggestion is that whatever you're saying to yourself then pops up on your screen of space and appears a specific way. And I know this because over the last 4.5 years I've been with, actually it's almost our 5-year anniversary. That's fucking crazy. Damn. Over the last 4.5 years, like the things that I've thought of her, from like changing my assumptions, the way that she showed up, it's like too fucking crazy for me to not believe that she's just literally mirroring when I'm saying to myself. And plus, I've observed thousands of things where people said I affirmed this specific thing and she did it. Well, I'm not gonna take my shirt off. I'm gonna save that for the wifey or for those paid members. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not showing my boobies. I was when I was manifesting back the first time I was also manifesting. She wanted to get a matching tattoo, and we got a matching tattoo. So you see what I'm saying? It's just too fucking. It's you. It's happening within your mind. It seems like I've been comfortable being in struggling state, divine comedy, and thank you. It's where I've been going. Just definitely feels like a boot camp. Yeah. MG debt mostly want to understand flow when 3D seems to take so long to fall into place. The love, living situation, job security, money, being here now has kept me alive, but stress is such a silent killer. Yeah, MG, I agree. And you'll find that stress is all done in the mind. And so is all the issues that you have are done in the mind. So, MG, what I suggest, here is my school community. We have 3 calls a week. We're going to start doing 4 calls a week. And the main thing I talk about is flow. And the reason why is because I know that topic is going to make people more money. It's going to make people a better quality of life. People are going to have better friendships. People are going to manifest their SP back. They're going to find everything that they were searching for in the manifestation community. So check that out. But my thing is, though, MG, is and continue to watch my lives and such, bro. Keep listening to them, and eventually something's gonna click. You've observed a couple people in here. They've listened to my lives 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and finally now something's clicking for them. Finally now they're like, "Oh shit. Oh, I get what he's been saying the last 50 times that he's been on here." And that's how I was with Joseph Rodriguez. I listened to Joseph Rodriguez for close to 5 years, and he was saying the same shit, and it took me a really long time, and I finally went, I am it. I just realized this. How did I not know this? And what I wonder now is how did I ever live life where I was the one who was affirming 24/7 and I'm suffering and I'm fucking emotional all the time. I'm reacting to appearances. How did I live life like that? It doesn't even make sense. And it's just the state of being that I was in, right? Like, and that's why I'm happy to come on here and I give the same answers because it's a beautiful thing to push it and push it and push it and push it and say it from different angles until the observer finally goes, I remember who I am. There's nothing for me to do. I can't do anything. I am everything. I have it. And that's why I'm here. So in that way I can observe people that have those experiences, like several people in here have been remembering. And I trust it's just going to be more and more and more and more and more the more that I do this. But anyways, as I was saying, my friend, is check out the school community. So in that way you can actually talk to me on a Zoom call. There's a lot of people in there. A lot of people have already manifested their SP or gotten movement. It's really about allowing things to not make sense. I just keep tapping into the feeling of being new body now and claimed it before bed with no attachment to achieve, but instead of recognizing. Amen, a son, and a child. Kira, my son says hello. What's up, Kira's son? He always sees me watching your videos. He told me you were live today. Good looking out, brother. I remember learning to manifest and back in 2020 after a bad breakup. I spent years jumping from guru to guru trying to manifest, but with no luck. But you've made the work clear. I appreciate you, bro. You're welcome. Yeah, it's funny. My wife had that same experience. She was like, I knew about law of attraction, law of assumption, but she was just like, it was just so confusing. And then you explained it to me, and I just clicked. Now she manifests. He made my night. That was awesome. I just had to deal with doubt after 2 years trying to manifest him with no contact. It feels less and less likely that he would reach out the more time passes. Trust will come together by some miracle. So, Liz, this is all, and Liz, I would suggest checking out the school community as well. There's many things here, especially with the time and how your whole entire conversation is about how it would be luck and how it's about him and etc. I trust that the school community would be extremely helpful for you. Ryan's on there with me. He's manifested his girl back 6 times now. So he's definitely a master at that. And yeah, but the main thing is Liz, if you close your eyes here, okay, close your eyes, say I am to myself a couple of times. Let's say that you just feel, bring your focus up to where your mind would be in space. Imagine where your mind would be in space and feel in there. Just be aware. No thinking, just be aware. Then ask yourself the simple question, what would my next thought be? Don't force it. Ah, see, the mind goes extremely blank. How the fuck could it know what the next thought's going to be? Has no idea. Now your awareness. Now, while you're aware, let me ask you this. You're present in the now. So there's no past story. There's no any of this stuff happening. You're simply here. Now, if I go, hey, I'm in a loving relationship, it feels as though it is that way. So this is why it's key. This is why Neville talks about it from the rooftops. Everybody talks about it. Dr. Joe Dispenza, everyone talks about it from the rooftops. You have to be able to go into the silence where you're faceless, formless, without a past, without a future, and then feel as though it is the way you desire it to be. My cat says hello. Oh fuck no. All right, I got to take away admin rights from JC. because I'm gonna start banning people that talk about cats. I don't want JC to have the ability to override that, so we're gonna, no, I'm just kidding. I did take away JT's, moderator thing, though. I don't even need moderators in here, that's the funny thing. In your opinion, what is happening with a romantic SP manifestation when you are focused on other stressful issues in your life? Is there movement, as they say, in the background? Well, so name here's and I trust you observe this is like look at your state of being while you're on stressful situation, right? Like this is the meaning or what's happening in the mind that you're imagining. You notice that when that's the experience, um, that it appears as though many things will match that state of being. I trust you've experienced this. I know I have. Same with when I'm in ideal state of being. Um, then my outside reality will reflect that. So this is why I'm saying your state of being is the most important thing, not the sentences you say to yourself from time to time. Your state of being is what creates, as Ellen Watts said, everybody said, you attract what you are. So so then the solution is in practice. Please, guys, practice meditation, practice sitting in the silence, practice observing. This is the only way to decompress yourself. If you can sit here for a little bit, you're going to feel like you went on a vacation. And the reason why you feel like you went on a vacation is because that which is making you suffer and you're imagining that which you don't love, you are continuously, um, this is what's causing you suffering, this and here. This is what's creating what you don't want to what you don't want to experience. This is what's creating your SP appearing in a certain way. The continuous yapping, the judging, the continuous little voice talking to you. This is what's causing the suffering. This is why you feel like you need a vacation. This is what's telling you about all your problems. So if this stops, guess what? Ah, relief. Relief. Oh, I experience bliss now. Why do you experience bliss? Because this just stopped. Ah, I feel love. Why do I feel love? Because this just stopped. So you see, when this stops, you experience who you are. And that was a beautiful illustration. I'm gonna make a YouTube video on that. People like little, maybe I'll get a puppet. I love big hats. All right. Looks like Lucas is gonna be the first one to go. No, I'm just kidding. I like leopards too. Leopards are dope. It's just really reflecting. You taught us well, Joseph. Well, no, JT, you've been trying to manifest it like cats for a while. You've been persistent. I'll give you that. However, I think there's too much force in it, and that's maybe why it's not working for you. Maybe a little bit more flow based, and then that'll work for you. Um, I think Joseph might agree with you. Yeah, I do. I do agree with Lucas, 1000%. That few minute exercise of focus on your mind and space is gold. Yes, it is. Yeah. I'm glad you experienced that experientially. It's you'll never be the same, right? You cannot forget. Once you're free from your mind for a second, you're like, "Oh shit, I get what Joseph's saying." But like you don't get what I'm saying with your mind. You get what I'm saying experientially. You know what I mean? There's a difference. When you're hearing me with your mind, it makes a whole bunch of concepts and ideas. And how do I get there and how do I do it? Same thing it does with being in the wish fulfilled and everything else, right? How do I create it? How do I do it? How do I make it happen? How do I and then once this is gone, you realize you are it. Right? Like you just know that you are it. It's a knowing. It's not a belief. A belief is of the mind. It's a knowing. It's in your being, which is what the Sabbath is, or really anything else. I realize that when I give up, I'm actually just sitting in silence and unintentionally meditate, and that's when my manifestation comes. You said it yourself. See, so there's another one that experientially knows what it is I'm talking about. Experience it. That's so you know what you need to do. Then no more affirmations, no more visualizations. Do that because that'll keep giving you the same results. It wasn't a fluke. I promise you. I see it across my life continuously. I've been persistent and friendly, chill, and only manifesting is happening by itself as it needs to. Second, you try to be in flow, it takes you out of flow. Yep, that's exactly correct. Just like the second you try to be in the wish fulfilled is when you're not in the wish fulfilled, right? So that's the funny thing is why I always tell people just observe the energy emotion, observe your thoughts, don't identify with them because then what'll happen automatically most times is you'll find yourself go in your desired state automatically. And so you'll find the same truth that I found. The only reason why I couldn't feel or be in my loving relationship is because that surface level, how do I fix it? How do I do this? How do I get in the state? How do I do it? How do I affirm? How do I? And then once it stops, oh, I recognize I've always been in this state. Ah, my SP does love me. Ah, I start imagining naturally from the premise of the wish fulfilled. So what was stopping me was the little I talking continuously in my mind. It was underneath that, but I couldn't see it because I couldn't stop thinking and trying to do something. I need to clip that shit. That was fire. So the answer to every question really is one thing, Brandon. You're getting mod, bro. I can tell that you are an exceptionally intelligent. I'm just gonna give fucking mod to everybody. Brandon, I'll let you add that, bro, because I'll let you answer that question that Lovely has. Because it appears as though or I'm observing that it's making sense to you. Yep. JT, exactly. Yep. Exactly, Lovely. Exactly. Just if you need those flows in a month's time when your channel is 1 minute subscribed. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed it's funny because the more I've been doing this, it's like I'm just getting connections and people are sending followers my way, and a lot of people are joining. Like even when I go on the TikTok lives now, like they're getting pretty big, which is really cool. I mean, I still remain the same, right? It's not like I change because of a particular number of people. I'm still the same as I am here, but it's really cool to observe the 3D avatar interacting with different outside variables. Thank you, JT. I appreciate that. Yeah, my wife always tells me all the time I'm weird too, and like she likes that about me. So maybe that's why people are entertained too, is because I'm weird sometimes, or could be described as weird. One could suggest that I'm weird, which is cool. I mean, well, you should have seen me about 15 years ago. I was fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Is this going to be up on YouTube later? Yes, it will. Yeah. Yeah, you should see me. That's one of the cool things when I think about my journey. It's like it'd be so cool to. I just can't wait to. I'm going to make a book with the intention of inspiring people because when I was like 5, I was like hurting animals and shit. I was lighting parks on fire. I was punching my brother. Like my uncle was going to call the child support services on me. I was a drug addict. I was like 18. I almost like killed somebody with my truck. Once I was 21, I was sober for a year. I did kill somebody with my car. Like just a lot of things have happened. And it's like, if I can paint a beautiful description of what was happening within me, the hell that was happening within me, and then now the heaven that I experienced, it's like, I think really inspiring for people. I like to do it because, after my dad passed, that's kind of what was the last straw that kind of made me commit to this work. As after he died, I'm like, I don't want people to experience that. I don't want family members to have to experience that. I don't want people to suffer from to not know that there's a way out of their mind, to not know that you can overcome it. Like if I can help any of those people, it's like it's worth it. And that kind of just gave me my heart's desire was to do this on a big level because it's like the more, and yeah, money's cool and all this stuff because I recognize really honestly, I gotta be honest. I'd be happy with a pretty small amount of money on a regular basis. Um, but I recognize that in order to have influence in reality, it's like the more that you end up making, the more that you're all over the place, the more that you make impact. And so now I'm just, doing part of the natural things that happen in the 3D. But that's my ultimate desire is that I want to be I've gone through a lot of shit that I feel like I can help a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And I don't want people to suffer the way that I've suffered and my family suffered. And so that'll probably be my next book is something on that. But I also recognize too that if I'm going to start going over to mental health and stuff, that I'll have to become like bigger as far as a couple million subscribers or something like that, and then I can just go and do whatever niche. Because up until a certain point, you're stuck. Like if I start posting about Pokemon cards, the people that are waiting for my manifestation content are gonna be like, "Dude, what the fuck? I'm gonna leave this," right? So like there's like kind of levels to it. But I did have a desire for a while where I wanted to go to schools and talk to kids and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, every desire you have, no matter what, isn't appears to be blocked by problems. All those problems are just thoughts. Drop them all and just be in flow, and then nothing is blocking you. Yep. Mm, Brandon, I like that shit. If I didn't like Jonathan's message so much, that would be pinned. I like that, Brandon. Every desire you have, no matter what it is, appears to be blocked by problems, which all I'm going to add on to this, which all only appear in mind. All those problems are just thoughts. Oh, you do say that. Drop them all and just be in flow, and then there is nothing blocking you. You just are it. Facts. Me too, bro. Just a few years ago, it was crazy, but I started very young, and now my inner peace is incredible. Dude, I'm glad to hear that, Brad. I'm happy for you, bro. I have manifested so many specific things, and it's so interesting how it feels unrealistic again when I'm out of the state or have emotional reactions that make the negative outcomes feel more like, yep. Yeah, you notice that too, Sanam? It's a state. This is why I say you don't heal anything. Because the moment that you identify with needing to heal, you're stuck in the state. Right? Like it's just a state of being. Just remove the state. Go into a different one. How'd you overcome the shame guilt? Being in flow helps a lot because this doesn't create a personality or something. Because only really in mind can one feel guilt or mind or shame. Right? That's implying something happened and then it's reliving it over and over and over again in the mind. In flow, you don't experience that because you're always in the now. And secondly, I did the best I could with what I had at that time, and that's the case for everybody. I mean, that's really the truth. If I knew what I was doing now when manifesting money, I would have never done what ended up happening ever. So it's just those two things. We do the best we can with our state of consciousness at that time. I just did your meditation, and it was the first time I could see him cry because he loves me so much. Thank you for creating that. Oh, that's awesome, Deborah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it's dope. I was going to dance for you guys before I got off to this song that I really love. It's called Dope Boy Fresh by 36 Mafia. But I don't have my phone here. I think my son has it. Speaking of mental health, where does manifestation intersect with counseling in terms of overcoming anxiety and depression? You want a little shimmy? So I found that counseling what I found that counseling really did, because like I did a bunch of EMDR therapy, and what it really did for me was two things. One, it made me become more conscious whenever old stuff was coming up, old programming was coming up, which was helpful. And then the second thing is that it showed me firsthand what EMDR therapy is. Because EMDR therapy is what you do. The idea behind it is you go back into a memory or something that caused you harm or formed a belief or whatever it is, and then you see yourself there, and then you can have like crazy shit. Like in one of them, instead of my mom's fiance beating the shit out of me, like that I remember my face is all bloody and shit. I remember that Hulk Hogan came in there and beat his ass, right? And it sounds so funny, but like at the time when you see that, it seems as though it like revises the memory of the personality feeling like they're like not worthy or they're not good enough. So it's and that's what revision is. Revision is you go back into the memory, you see the memory going different than how it was that it went. So I liked it for those two purposes, but now knowing what I know, I wouldn't do counseling. I wouldn't personally do it just because well, I don't really feel like I need it anymore primarily. And two, I kind of feel like I'm reinfecting myself to a degree. Dilpril, Nigra. What is that? Dilpreet Negro. What's up, bro? How's it going? I tried EMDR therapy. It's like revision. Yes. Yeah. Agreed. But guys, I love you all a long time. I'm gonna get off, go hang out with my wife a little bit before she goes to work, and I will catch you guys on tomorrow because I'm doing this shit every day. I'm doing this every day, and I'll be on TikTok every day. So if you want to chill and hang out, talk about flow, talk about how to recognize how you're already in your loving relationship, I would love to see you guys there. Bye, guys. Have a good Thursday night.